Well, hello from Xavier College in Melbourne, where Andy Farrell has named his matchday 23 for the Lions' second test against Australia at the MCG. The headline is, there's 9 Irish players, but it would have been 10. Garry Ringrose was named in the team by Andy Farrell when he spoke to the players last night. But training here at Xavier College earlier today, he's began to feel unwell and self-reported concussive symptoms to Andy Farrell and his management team, taking himself out of the equation, with Hugh Jones, the Scottish centre, retaining his place from the first test, having been dropped along with Sione Tuipulotu, who makes way for Bundee Aki. Tuipulotu does have a bit of a hamstring, but Farrell said that he would have gone for this Irish centre pairing had Ringrose not pulled out. It's a massive step for Garry Ringrose, really, to go and self-report. I think 5-10 years ago, players probably would have kept it under wraps, at least for 24 hours, to see how they felt. But he, I guess, has had experiences with this injury before. It's his second time going through the HIA protocols on tour. He picked up a head injury against the Brumbies nearly 2 weeks ago now. Missed the first test as a result because it was part of that 12-day stand-down period. Came back against the First Nations Pacifica side. Played for more than an hour on Tuesday night. Played really, really well. Felt fine, according to Andy Farrell. Felt fine yesterday. But just today, running around on the pitch down in Xavier College, had to pull out. Felt that he couldn't do that to his team. And he's just been roundly hailed by his teammates and by his coach for his honesty and for putting the team first and taking himself out of the equation. So a sad day for Ringrose, whose chances of playing in a test now are receding. It depends on whether they'll think, they'll risk him in that third test next week in Sydney, and whether he'll risk himself and how he's feeling. He spoke in the mix zone after Tuesday night's game. His whole family are out here. His wife has brought his young son Freddie, who turns 1 on Saturday, and it's just a really sad situation for a player who was unfortunate to miss out on selection grounds in 2017, wasn't picked in 2021 and was injured. Even if they wanted to call him up, he picked up an injury between the squad selection and the tour. So sad for Garry Ringrose, but I guess an opportunity for Hugh Jones. Elsewhere, Andrew Porter comes into the team for Ellis Scourge. There's 3 changes, Bundee Aki in for Tuipulotu. Harsh on him as well. He would have been playing in his home city. A lot of reporters have been out talking to his family this week. It was a big moment for him to come back to Melbourne. He played well last weekend, but Andy Farrell decided to change things up. On his bench as well, James Ryan is in. Joe McCarthy misses out. He had picked up that plantar fasciitis injury that he's been managing, flared up last Saturday. He hasn't been able to train all week, along with Matt Hansen, who also wasn't available. So Ollie Chesson comes into the starting team. James Ryan on the bench for the first time in a Lions test. Owen Farrell, interestingly, is promoted to the bench along with Blair Kinghorn. So their numbers 22 and 23. Ellis Scourge is on the bench. Otherwise, it's the kind of same personnel. Alex Mitchell, Ronan Kelleher, Will Stewart. And the Wallabies have named their team as well. Unfortunately, they both did media at the same time today, so we haven't been able to hear from Joe Schmidt. I'm sure his words will be out in the news media very, very soon. But he's made 3 changes, and they're pretty significant ones as well. He's brought in an experienced hooker in David Parecki for Matt Fessler. He's brought in Will Skelton, who everyone knows from La Rochelle Leinster battles down the years. Such a big, powerful player who added a lot to that tight 5. And he's brought in Rob Valentini, the Players Player of the Year, who won the John Eales medal here in Australia the last 2 seasons. A really, really strong ball carrier. He'll add a load of venom to that back row. So those 3 changes, plus a 6-2 split on the bench, where Langy Gleeson, who'll be less well known than some of the guys who've been brought into the starting team, but is again a big hitting back row. He comes onto a 6-2 bench split with Andrew Kellaway dropping off. So a lot of news to digest there. The big headlines, 9 Irish starters in the Lions test. Unbelievable, really, after the last 4 years under Andy Farrell. Andy Farrell putting his trust in a lot of players who've done it for him before, but I guess sadly it won't be 10 because of Garry Ringrose pulling out. Who knows if McCarthy and Matt Hansen had been fit, could it have been 12? It's 9. It's a pretty significant amount, and all eyes now lead to that first test in the MCG, where there's about 90,000, 95,000 tickets sold. They're hoping for 100,000 sellout. What a sight that would be as the Lions go in search of a series win on Saturday.